Who's the best player in the country?
To the media or me?
As you see it.
Man, what the hell is Reebok doing? Y'all tripping. You got one of the most marketable WNBA athletes, not even WNBA, athletes in general.
But it's actually Indiana that has 7 points off of the turnovers that Atlanta has created until we saw Angel Reese, shout out to our teammate. Angel Reese in particular, her energy shifted. I thought when she got some of those easy baskets to go in the paint that quite frankly she had struggled with to open the ball game, that's when you saw this defense begin to pick up its energy, this dream squad to begin to play with a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, athletes know it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and that energy is contagious because if you look at Angel Reese, she already has 7 and 9. She's already getting close to a double-double, but then also, if you think about, on the other side here, you're seeing the Indiana Fever, they're just being a little bit methodical.
The truth, the multi-million-dollar contract that was supposed to solidify Angel Reese as one of Reebok's biggest basketball stars, is now becoming the most uncomfortable, talked about, and potentially career-defining situation of her young life. After a series of on-court performances that have left fans and critics alike questioning her offensive development, the spotlight isn't just on Reese's popularity, her endorsements, or her social media empire anymore. It's on the raw, undeniable reality of her game. Is Reebok truly getting the superstar performance it expected when it invested so heavily in her? Or has the company simply bought into a brand that is, right now, far bigger than the basketball player herself? Because after what unfolded on the court against Indiana, that question is becoming almost impossible to ignore.
What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment. ESPN's coverage of this toxic turd of a league, it is more embarrassing than this never-ending burn on my lip that just refuses to go away. Allow Uncle KC to give you some valuable advice. Don't ever get so excited to eat your mother's cooking that the food burns your lip, especially if you're on camera every day, because this damn thing is taking forever to
/in.
Did you guys hear that Angel Reese, that WNBA basketball player that does nothing but drama, Reebok has pulled their endorsements and sponsorships?
Yeah, I am still laughing about what went down last night in that game against the Fever and the Dream Dog. Caitlin Clark laughing at Angel Reese about that last miss. Man, it was just so much going on in that game that had me laughing my butt off. It was ridiculous. But this right here is the cherry on top. All right, during the halftime, I usually speak over these women, and I was seeing my chat just going in. They were like, man, they glazing Angel off of this terrible performance. And I was like, hold on, man, I got to go back and listen. And when I listened to it, man, I done gained 8 abs, dog. I done broke my side laughing so hard. This is crazy work. It's almost like they can't say anything.
Reebok didn't just slap Angel Reese's name on a random pair of sneakers and call it a day. Let's be absolutely clear about the magnitude of this deal. The company signed Reese to a multi-year extension, a massive financial commitment. And then, to really underscore their belief in her market power, they announced she would receive her very own exclusive signature shoe. Think about that for a second. This made her only the second WNBA player in history to receive a signature sneaker from Reebok. This wasn't just a basic endorsement. This was Reebok betting the farm, a significant portion of their basketball division's future, on the Bayou Barbie phenomenon. They saw her star power, her undeniable charisma, and her ability to captivate an audience, and they went all in.
Angel Reese even said she was playing like trash. Check this out.
Well, Angel, your team on a 17-4 run right now. You started that with a 7-0 run. How did you kind of get things going for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing like shit in the beginning, but it's a game of runs. You got to put that in your back pocket.
Well, Angel.
Yeah, you continued to play like shit throughout the game. Pardon the language. You cursed, so I did. You continued to play like complete garbage. And now here we have ESPN, double-double duel in Atlanta. And the truth is, neither one of these bigs played well. Aaliyah Boston was missing layups terribly.
/in.
Can we stop with the comparisons with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? Can you let it die now? Caitlin Clark is embarrassing this girl. And I halfway feel sorry for Angel Reese. Not what you think, though. It's not because they're viciously attacking her online. It's not that. I don't feel bad about that because they do it to Clark all the time. She deserves it. She wanted this. Angel Reese wanted it. They're not just watching for one person. They're watching for me, too. Remember that? She's been trying to prove that she's been better than Caitlin Clark this entire time.
That move, that decision to build a signature product around Angel Reese, was a monumental statement about how seriously Reebok viewed her marketability and her future as a global icon. But it also, inadvertently, placed Reese under an entirely different, far more intense level of scrutiny. Because once a company pours millions into building a signature line around an athlete, once they align their brand identity so closely with yours, people naturally and justifiably start asking a very direct question. Does the on-court performance, the actual basketball, truly deserve the size of this colossal investment? Is the product matching the promotion? And that's where the uncomfortable reality begins to set in. Because the higher you climb, the harder the fall and the brighter the spotlight, the more glaring the imperfections become.
ESPN spent the entire day yesterday trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a professional basketball player. They tried to convince us that Angel Reese is the most dominant player in the league. Problem is, we have eyes, and no one, and I mean no one, believes it. You know, I almost feel bad for Angel Reese. Keyword, almost. I would feel bad for her if she refused to believe the lie that
/in, /in.
ESPN, y'all have to do better. Y'all have to do better. Y'all have to get some actual honest media at some point. ESPN has embarrassed themselves. You have Monica McNutt and company. You know the crew, Andrea Carter, Chinny Ogumake. They were on ESPN on the telecast, on the broadcast, lying about Angel Reese's performance. You got ESPN pretending like Angel Reese played well. Andrea Carter lying, saying Angel Reese wasn't missing her layups.
Now fast forward to August 16th, 2026. This is where the basketball conversation about Angel Reese shifted dramatically, and it all happened in one explosive game. The Atlanta Dream hosted the Indiana Fever, and this wasn't just any regular season matchup. This game had every single ingredient a television producer, a sports marketer, or a ravenous fanbase could possibly want. Caitlin Clark was back on the court, Angel Reese was on the opposing side, playoff positioning was on the line for both teams, and that legendary white-hot college rivalry between them was simmering just beneath the surface, like a loaded storyline waiting for someone to press the trigger and unleash absolute chaos. The anticipation was palpable, the ratings were through the roof, and the world was watching for a classic clash.
The only thing she has over Clark is rebounds, and I'm halfway looking at them because half of them come from you missing, and the other half comes from you shoving people out the way under the rim, like you did Clark last night, like you did Natasha Howard last season when you wanted to fight, like you do everybody else. You're slapping them in the face. She plays dirty under the rim, and she crosses her finger and squeezes her butt cheek that the referees will not call it. That's what's going on with her. We got to stop. You got great players, you got good players. There's a difference. Y'all are trying to push Angel Reese in the great player category when anybody who can see she's nowhere near Caitlin Clark's level. Nowhere near.
/in.
Good to great plays. You see Caitlin orchestrating. It's like both sides are leaning into their strengths on this one.
Let's go back to Angel really quickly, though, because she was part of the catalyst that you saw to be able to change things around. And she said to Holly, I just feel like I needed to take a deep breath and maybe stop overthinking some of these.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there. Like, sometimes the basket is too open. Right? She's used to getting double teamed. She's used to triple teams, and she's used to contact. And so sometimes when you see her, like, wait, what's coming? You want to look over your shoulder. But she settled into the game well. And what I like is she's been such a great mentor also to Medina.
Unfortunately for Reese, when the dust settled, the basketball itself became the only asterisk story. The narrative quickly veered away from the rivalry, away from the marketing hype, and directly onto her struggles. Reese started the game ice cold, visibly struggling to find her rhythm. She finished the first half with a meager 7 points on a dismal 3 of 10 shooting from the field, alongside 9 rebounds. Even Reese herself, in a rare moment of candidness during the halftime interview, acknowledged that she had been playing poorly, a brutally honest self-assessment that was probably the most accurate scouting report anyone could have offered at that moment. And then came the absolute gut punch in the final moments of overtime. The Fever eventually escaped with a nail-biting 95-91 victory, but it was Reese's final opportunity that became the lasting, haunting image for millions of viewers.
there is a picture floating around online because we all remember the final seconds of this basketball game. Yes, when Angel Reese could have won the game, had all the bragging rights over Caitlin Clark, at least for this one here. Well, Angel Reese missed the damn layup. Now, for all of the Angel Reese fans, I just want y'all to calm down because this is nothing new. She's been missing layup.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
What it is, but this weekend has to be one of the worst weekends ever for Angel Reese, bruh. I mean, she became a meme last game. She became a super duper meme this game. And all I got to tell you is, Caitlin Clark truly gets the...
Look, Reese still finished with a respectable 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. This wasn't some statistical disaster where she contributed absolutely nothing to her team. Far from it. But here's the kicker, the moment that burned itself into the memory of every fan watching. When a professional basketball player, especially one of her stature and physical dominance, gets an uncontested opportunity right around the basket with the game on the line, literally tied up in overtime, the expectation is incredibly simple. Finish the play. Put the ball in the hoop. That's the bare minimum, the fundamental expectation. It's not about complex offensive schemes or highlight reel moves. It's about executing the most basic, high-percentage shot in basketball when it matters most. And she didn't.
Reese giving us a real comedy show playing basketball. Or should I say, attempting to play basketball. Multiple wide open. She was so wide open, you couldn't see anybody else on the screen with her, and she still missed a layup. A chance to win the game at the buzzer, wide open, fundamental, layup, kiss it off the backboard. Can't do that either. Getting blocked left and right, Michaela Timpson, Monique Billings treating her.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
And for all the people that was talking all the trash about Caitlin Clark missing those free throws that one game, yeah, we remember that. We remember that. And guess what? Angel Reese couldn't even make a damn layup to win the game. And I'm telling you right now, this is hella funny. Oh my God, this is super funny. This is more funnier than the video of the guy pretending to be Angel Reese. I mean, she literally hit the floor, put her hands over her head. Sorry, guys. Hit the floor, put her hands over her head like, oh my God, I messed up. Yeah, you messed up real bad, Angel. Real bad. But let's pull up the meme right now and let me show you.
As a star, particularly one whose entire brand is built around physicality, rebounding, and dominating the paint, nobody is asking for a PhD dissertation in advanced offensive technique. They are simply asking for the ball to go through the hoop. Period. And that expectation isn't just some arbitrary demand. It's especially critical when a player like Reese has built much of her formidable reputation around her raw physicality, her relentless pursuit of rebounds, and her ability to impose her will inside the paint. Reese's biggest strength, the undisputed cornerstone of her game, has always been her uncanny ability to create extra possessions. She attacks the glass with ferocity, battles for offensive rebounds like her life depends on it, and uses her imposing physical presence to make life an absolute nightmare for opposing defenders. That part of her game, her rebounding and defensive impact, is undeniably real, and the numbers back it up without question. Earlier this season, she put up a monster performance of 15 points and 17 rebounds against Toronto, including a career-high 11 offensive boards, and she entered that game leading the entire league in rebounding. Nobody needs to pretend those numbers don't matter, because they absolutely do.
They answer. Y'all saw how Shanae was like, how Malika just jumped in mid-conversation, with her mid-talking, and say, yeah. But let's get back to Angel Reese. She almost didn't even want her to say anything good about Caitlin Clark. I don't understand it. Hey, you only can say that about players who are too open shooting the three. Not right at the rim, dog. Come on, man. We don't say that for players right at the rim. Only when you're shooting threes, man. Sometimes you are too open when you shoot a three, but not when you're right at the rim. That's ridiculous.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. But here, that's where the game and the conversation becomes much harder. Once opposing teams know exactly what you want to do, once they can reliably predict your moves, they can build their entire defensive strategy around shutting down your strengths. If defenders know that you are most dangerous exclusively around the basket, they can aggressively crowd your driving lanes, forcing you into uncomfortable positions. If they know you're not a consistent three-point threat, they can sag off you, daring you to shoot from outside while clogging the paint. And if they know you prefer certain specific finishes around the rim, they can prepare for those attempts before you even make your move, timing their blocks and positioning themselves perfectly. At that point, sheer physicality alone is no longer enough to consistently dominate, because professional defenses are meticulously designed to force players to beat them with skills they are less comfortable using, to expose any offensive weaknesses. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. And that precisely is where Angel Reese has continually faced pointed questions about whether her offensive development has truly kept pace with her skyrocketing profile, her enormous celebrity, and the massive brand she has become. The internet, of course, handled this development with its usual subtlety. By subtlety, I mean absolutely none whatsoever. Some critics, seeing those missed layups and awkward finishes, immediately decided that Reese had somehow forgotten how to play basketball entirely, that her fundamental skills had vanished. Others treated every difficult or unsuccessful finish as irrefutable evidence that she simply should not be playing professionally at all. Somewhere along the way, a few missed shots in a single game morphed into a full-blown referendum on her entire career, her future, and even her very worth as a player. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. This is where we absolutely need to separate legitimate, nuanced basketball criticism from the theatrical, often over-the-top noise of the internet. The real issue is not simply that Reese misses shots. Every player misses shots. The issue is the asterisk type of shots she is missing, and the uncomfortable question that arises from it. Is one of the biggest personal brands in women's basketball actually developing into the complete offensive player that the intense hype surrounding her so strongly suggests she should become? And this, ladies and gentlemen, brings us right back to Reebok. Because the Reebok angle is far more complicated than a simplistic, she played badly, so cancel the contract, narrative. It's about long-term vision, investment, and the brutal reality of expectation matching performance. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Now listen to this part, because this is where the media landscape and ESPN's role enter the conversation, making things even more complex. Critics have openly accused some ESPN personalities and commentators of giving Angel Reese an unusually generous, almost protective, amount of praise and positive coverage, even when her offensive numbers and on-court struggles have been glaringly difficult to defend. This criticism grew significantly louder after that pivotal Fever game, especially when Reese was visibly shooting poorly early in the contest. Yet the halftime discussion on ESPN still heavily emphasized the positive impact of her energy, her rebounding, and her overall presence. And this, right here, is where things get genuinely uncomfortable for many viewers and analysts. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Keeping a player's genuine strengths in the spotlight is not automatically a problem. And let's be fair, Angel Reese has undeniable strengths. If Reese grabs 9 rebounds and a half, creates multiple additional possessions for her team, battles relentlessly for offensive boards, and consistently contributes to her team's defensive intensity, then analysts are perfectly justified in discussing those valuable contributions. That's just good analysis. However, the problem arises whenever her offensive limitations become undeniably obvious, whenever she struggles to score or finish at the rim. The conversation can sometimes, almost deliberately, move away from the fundamental basketball problem. Instead of directly addressing the offensive struggles sitting right there on the screen, the discussion can pivot to her personality, her rebounding, her energy, or her general influence. It's a deflection, and it creates an information gap for the audience, suggesting that her impact is always enough, even when her scoring is. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. And that is precisely where the standard for a player of Angel Reese's profile, a player with a signature shoe deal, should become higher, not lower. Reese can absolutely be an excellent rebounder, a physically imposing force in the paint, an incredibly marketable star, and an influential figure both on and off the court. All of those things can be true simultaneously. But crucially, she can still need to become a significantly better offensive player. Her rebounding is genuinely valuable. Her physical presence undeniably creates opportunities for her teammates. and her ability to generate those crucial extra possessions can absolutely change the entire flow and momentum of a game. Nobody is disputing that. But none of those elite qualities automatically erase the very real, very pressing need to improve her finishing around the rim, her shooting consistency, and her overall offensive decision-making.